Nowhere on television was one man's vision so personified as on Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek.
The final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore
strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Roddenberry explored many serious social issues involving such TV taboo subjects as war, race, politics, religion, and sex.
Well, that humanism has furnished me, as it has Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke and people like that, whose name I'm sure you know, with great joy and with a great sense of reward.
Humanism is formally defined as a progressive life stance or progressive philosophy of life that, without supernaturalism, without anything supernatural, affirms our ability and our responsibility to lead ethical lives of personal fulfillment, aspiring to the greater good of humanity.
And Roddenberry and his writers trained their sights on AIDS, intolerance, mercy-killing, homosexuality, even religion, of which Gene was not a fan. One of my favorite underratedly ballsy lines for a major television series was when Counselor Troy says to the leader of a particularly dogmatic alien race, that's the problem with believing in a supernatural being, trying to determine what he wants. One wonders if Roddenberry was not, in fact, saying that to us. It's moments like...
Dr. Barron, your report describes how rational these people are. Millennia ago, they abandoned their belief in the supernatural. Now you are asking me to sabotage that achievement, to send them back into the dark ages of superstition and ignorance and fear? No!
This starship, could it carry my wisdom beyond the barrier?
It could, yes!
Then I shall make use of this starship.
It will be your chariot!
Excuse me?
It will carry my power to every corner of creation.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
Bring the ship closer.
I said, what does God need with a starship?
Jim, what are you doing? I'm asking you a question.
Who is this creature?
Who am I? Don't you know? Aren't you God?
He has his doubts.
You doubt me?
I seek proof.
In a time when America was facing racial unrest and a Cold War with the Soviet Union, for many, the show's appeal was its utopian ideals and its escapism.
He had very strong feelings about mankind's potential, that it would be a good thing if we could all live cooperatively.
We don't use our weapons for the kind of brutality you practice.
Star Trek represented a united Earth, bringing together people from every race and even other worlds.
Where I come from, size, shape, or color makes no difference.
And to push his ideals for a better future, Roddenberry would create a scene so controversial it would make television history. By 1968, the Starship Enterprise was heading out for a third season, carrying its peacekeeping multiracial crew across the galaxy. Its communications officer, Lieutenant Uhura, was played by Nichelle Nichols. At the time, it was unheard of for an African-American woman to play a leading role.
There was a lot of fuss about it. When a black person came on as a star of a TV show, it was a big deal.
Even though segregation had been made illegal by a series of landmark laws in the United States, it still persisted. In big parts of America, mostly in the South, blacks and whites could not eat together, could not attend the same schools, could not ride in the same train car.
Did we have racial problems? Oh, yes. Some of the fan mail was very anti having anyone on the set that was not white.
With racial tension dividing America, Roddenberry decided to court controversy by writing a scene guaranteed to raise blood pressure in the religious southern states. Television's first ever interracial kiss.
Our immediate reaction was, all right, by God, about time.
And my second reaction was, boy, are they going to hear from the Bible Belt on this one.
I just wanted to share with you something that may lift your spirits as it did mine those many years ago. All that nonsense about the dangers of mixed races living together on a spaceship or anywhere, and how some parts of our country were certain to refuse to televise Star Trek because we showed such things. The hatred that would supposedly flood our mail, turning sponsors against us. In all the years of Star Trek, we never received so much as one such letter. Not one. It had a comment on this and that. Not deep philosophical comment, but still comment on equality of all humans and the
You're two of a kind. It is obvious to the most simple-minded that Loci is of an inferior breed.
The obvious visual evidence, Commissioner, is that he is of the same breed as yourself.
Are you blind, Commander Spock? Well, look at me. Look at me. I am black on the right side. Loci is white on the right side. All of his people are white on the right side. I once heard that on some of your planets, people believe they are descended from apes.
All life forms evolved from the lower levels to the more advanced stages. Change is the essential process of all existence. For instance, the people of Charon must have once been monocolored.
You mean like both of you?
That should increase his value.
In what way?
Well, consider that in the history of many worlds, there have always been disposable creatures. They do the dirty work. They do the work that no one else wants to do because it's too difficult or too hazardous. And an army of data's all disposable. You don't have to think about their welfare. You don't think about how they feel. Whole generations of disposable people.
He's talking about slavery.
I think that's a little harsh.
I don't think that's a little harsh. I think that's the truth. But that's a truth that we have obscured behind a comfortable, easy euphemism. Property. But that's not the issue at all, is it?
It took me 6 months to scrounge up enough titanium just to build a 4-meter cockpit. How much does this thing cost?
The economics of the future are somewhat different. You see, money doesn't exist in the 24th century.
No money? You mean you don't get paid?
The acquisition of wealth is no longer the driving force in our lives. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity.
Ship. Out of danger?
Yes.
Don't grieve, Admiral. It is logical. The needs of the many outweigh
the needs of the few.
Or the one. I never took the Kobayashi-Maru test. Until now. What do you think of my solution? Spock. I have been and always shall be your friend. Live long and prosper.
That series, both of them and the movies, really changed the way people look at that type of television, science fiction television.
And a lot of people's lives personally as well.
He was fond of saying in all of his shows, live long and prosper, and he did.
He certainly did, and Roddenberry always envisioned the universe of the 23rd century as a hopeful place, and that will remain his legacy, that there is hope in the future, and in that hope lies the greatness of the human spirit.
Humans are capable of so much more than we yet understand. We're really something. Star Trek fans believe that, and so do I.